All right, what the heck is going on with the real estate market in the Denver metro 7-county area? Hey, it's Sean Reddy, Keller Williams Reddy Group, and each and every month we look at the month over month and year over year trends in the Denver metro market. We want to spot what the trends are saying between leading and lagging measures, whether we're moving more into buyer's market territory, whether there's some measures moving out of buyer's market territory, so that you can stay informed if you plan on entering the market anytime in the next year plus. So without further ado, let's get into it. There's 9 key metrics that we're tracking here, just to give you a heads up what they are. Average and median days on market, number of new listings, number of total available inventory, number of new contracts, closed sales, average selling price of what closed that month, average or median selling price, and median sold price to list price ratio. Now, color coding. If it's a red trend, it's moving in the direction of buyer's market. If it's a green trend, you guessed it, moving towards the direction of seller market. So let's get into the data and exactly what it means. All right, so first and foremost, available homes moved up for the 5th straight month. As of June 1st, there were 14,628 homes available for purchase in the Denver metro market. Now, homes, I do mean all residential properties, single family, townhome, condos. So that's good for a 13% bump month over month. Like I said, it's the 5th straight month. What fueled that? New listings jumped 3%. That's a 5th straight monthly increase. Nearly 7,900 homes came to market in the month of May. Days on market increased. Average days on market went up to 38 days, good for a 6% increase. Median days on market, 25% increase, up to 20 days. So more homes hitting the market, homes that are selling taking longer to sell, and there you have it, more available homes, all moving towards buyer's market territory. The average price of what sold in May compared to what sold in April, both average and median price decreased a little bit. 742,700 to 741,600 on the average price, and 615 to 610 on the median price. The median sold price to list price ratio, that also decreased a little bit to 1/100th of a point. That's why you don't see any decrease here, but it's decreased. That is a 3rd straight monthly decrease. Now, flipping to the metrics that sellers want to see, I don't want to call it sellers market territory, but the metrics that are helping sellers right now. New purchase contracts went up by 1%. Gross numbers not all that much. You can see back in April, 4689, 4713 in May. Closed sales went up by 6%. This one kind of caught me off guard because you can see in April, purchase contracts decreased 6%, but closed sales did go up 6% in May compared to April. Now let's flip this over to what this looks like year over year. You got a few trends helping sellers, but mainly buyer-friendly measures here. So average and median days on market. Biggest mover is available homes, up 46.4% year over year. Shy of 10,000 last year, 14,600 this year. So if you're a buyer, plenty to choose from and plenty of leverage to have in making offers because sellers have a ton of competition. New listings went up 6.3% year over year. Look at the days on market. Average went from 28 to 38, median went from 13 to 20. Homes are taking longer to sell. Again, if you're a buyer, that's great. That's more leverage in your pocket. Purchase contracts did go up 2.6%. Gross number itself, not huge, 626, something like that. Sorry, 125 more contracts in the grand scheme of 4,600. That's not a lot. Closed sales down a bit, 3.8% decrease. But check this out, look at the pricing. So what sold last year, only 1% lower than this year. So that's year over year appreciation, if you will. That's the best measure for it. Only 1%. So prices aren't decreasing. I mean, we look at last month, yeah, there was a decrease. Look at the month before, it's slightly decreased, but overall, prices are increasing, but it's at a sluggish pace. The median sold price to list price ratio. So basically the spread between final asking price and close price down 1.5%. So buyers are making more deals with the more inventory that's for sale. So what for my visual people, let's go here and look at these graphs. So here, this is just for framing here. We're looking at nearly 3 years worth of graphical data on some of these measures. And you can see that this one is average and median days on market. Definitely some peaks and valleys, with the valleys in the spring of every year. But we're starting to see that northward turn that we do every year as we get into the early summer months. So where's it going to top out this year? Stay tuned to the channel. Let me move down to this one. This is my favorite. This is super telling as a professional of where the market's heading. So this one measures new purchase contracts in the yellow. I'm going to start from the bottom up. New purchase contracts in the yellow. And you can see there are peaks and valleys here. It's not super steep, but every year in the spring, let me get to the dates here. Every year in the spring is when this sort of peaks out. This year we saw that peak in, March, with 4,961 contracts, and it's fluctuated slightly lower since then. So we may not see anything beyond that in terms of 1 month's worth of purchase contracts. New listings are in the blue, on the blue line. So every year we see a peak in the early summer months of new listings. So to me, that's sellers trying to catch up to the contract activity, albeit too late. Now look at this year. It's been rising steadily since December, as we typically see, yet this past month, May of 25, was the most new listings that the market has seen in the totality of this graph, if you will. Now, the red line, available homes. Watch this. So we know there weren't too many homes available in 2022, and that line bottoms out in the winter months of 2023, rises up, gets to about 8,300, bottoms out for the year, rises up last year, gets to just shy of 12 grand, bottoms out for the year, and then look at this, straight northward ascent as we get to 14,628 at the start of this month. Where's this one gonna stop, guys? This is where, well, first of all, this is the most amount of homes that the Denver Metro has seen for sale at any one time in the past decade plus. And where this goes, guys, I mean, who knows? And this is why it's softening. This is why the market's softening. This is why you see less homes selling in general, and less homes, or I shouldn't say less homes, a smaller percentage of what's on the market selling. This is where you see, quite frankly, this is where buyers markets start, is the detachment of the contract activity in the yellow to the total inventory in the red. So moving on, more to look at. Closed sales, up, down, up, down, up, down. Not much commentary on that, but the average and median price. Now, I know this measures on a monthly scale, if you will, but this is why we have the trend lines too. There was a nice jump in between the winter months, the start of the year basically until now. However, we got to see how these trends play out. Overall, in the last 3 years, this isn't a huge increase. Like if I go to, I'm not even going to use these blips, but if I go to basically where a majority of these dots are on the average price, we're looking around 700, right? And yeah, we got some blips here and there in the we'll call it mid 700s. Yet it's all this is saying that not a ton of appreciation over these last few years. And I go back up to this spread between contract and inventory, and that's where you start seeing prices that can come down. So stay tuned for more on that. Median sold price to list price ratio. Again, this measures the closings in each given month, but the overall trend here is downward, meaning buyers are negotiating more deals off the final list price, and you're not seeing these peaks of 100+% across the board of all the sales in that month. So what's the bottom line here? Bottom line is the market is softening, but you also have homes selling. And I have conversations with people all the time, hey, nothing's selling, or they use this like almost absolute language, like nothing's selling. Well, homes are selling. Homes are going under contract every single day. 4,700 of them last month, 4,700 the month before, almost 5,000 the month before that. So if you need to move, you can move. And yeah, you might sell at a discount compared to what you could have gotten a few years back. But think about where you're buying price-wise when there's nearly 15,000 homes for sale. Think about the deals that you can strike if you sell your home and buy another home. So this is a huge 7-county area encompassing millions of people. This isn't every single submarket within the Denver metro. If you do want something that's a little bit more broken out to your specific market, let us know, drop a comment, and we're happy to provide you with this data for you. I appreciate you watching, geeking out over the stats with me. Again, Sean Reddy of the Keller Williams Reddy Group, and we'll see you next month.